Welcome to the Cargo Bike Chronicles. I just hit 1,000 miles on the e-cargo bike. So I thought I'd make a video talking about my journey from car dependence to car independence. This is an experiment for me to see if this is gonna work. So today's video, we're gonna go through the 5 stages to car independence. Stage 1, car dependence. I got my driver's license like right when I turned 16 and never looked back. I drove to high school, I had a car all throughout college. I just kind of never questioned that being an adult meant that you got around with a car. Looking for parking, sitting in traffic, all of those were just like taxes, facts of life that you had to deal with as an adult. I still rode a bike recreationally, but I didn't think about it as a way to actually get around town. I didn't think of it as transportation at all. And honestly, I had no intention of ever leaving stage 1. Cars were awesome. My grandpa restored cars. My dad loves working on cars. I still think cars are cool myself. I actually don't mind driving. The world is built for cars. So unless you're intentionally looking for an alternative, that's just where you're gonna land. I think it's where most people live their entire life. Stage 2, cracking the seal. In 2018, I tried bike commuting for the first time. I was living in Burbank and working as a production assistant at Sunset Gower Studios, super long hours. I didn't ever have time to work out or go on a bike ride or anything after work. I mean, I barely had time to hang out with friends outside of work. And it really started taking a toll on my mental health. So I started biking in once or twice a week, and it kind of changed everything. My boss at the time actually said that I couldn't do that because if something came up on my way into work, like an errand I had to run or something, I wouldn't be able to, which I think is illegal. So obviously I kept doing it anyway. It was a huge boost to my overall well-being. The commute only took like 20 minutes longer, but I got a workout and a commute at the same time. I got home feeling like happy. What a crazy, crazy idea. That was me dipping a toe, just once or twice a week, riding my bike into work. Started to open that door. Stage 3, deep research. In 2020, I started working for a bike company in Long Beach called Pedal Movement. We ran the city's bike share program, and it was a huge part of my job to just get people stoked on bikes, get people excited about riding bikes around their city, which was a pretty awesome gig. Ironically, during that time, I was not bike commuting at all. Highland Park to Long Beach just felt like too much. But it changed the way that I look at cities and made me realize that the way we move through cities is a choice. For the first time, I started realizing how difficult it was to make a choice other than drive. The world is just set up to buy a car and drive a car, park a car, commute by car. It's not like it's illegal to not use a car or anything, but just every default choice is set up for a car to be the most convenient option. And I started wondering for the first time whether getting in a car for every little thing I had to do, every errand I had to run was a choice I was stuck in, or whether there was another way. Stage 4, the experiment. Big hill, down into the Rose Bowl. Whoop, whoop. In 2023, I started working fully remote. Technically it's hybrid, but the organization is in Florida, and so my commute was just 100% off of the table. So because of that, my day-to-day life shrunk quite a bit, and I found myself just choosing a bike more and more often to get around. I was really only using my car for longer road trips or to visit family out of town, or to pick up big loads of things at the store. Owning and maintaining and paying insurance for and registering a car just started to seem like kind of a lot for something I was barely using. This was really when I started wondering, could I do this? Do I need a car? Stage 5, dropping in. In March of 2025, I dropped in and bought a Tern GSD e-cargo bike. It was actually more like a baby step because I still owned a car. I just also had the bike. And I get that not everybody can do it this way, but having both during that transition period just took off a lot of pressure. I still had a car if I absolutely needed it, but I was being really intentional about treating the cargo bike as my vehicle. After 4 months, I had used my car twice, so that made the decision easy. In June, I said bye to the Subaru and jumped in the deep end. Car free, baby. And here's the thing, I'm not even actually that special. Based on the stats, in Los Angeles alone, there's like 10,000 people that use cars as their primary modes of transportation. Worldwide, 1 in every 10 people uses a car. Like, it's not crazy, it's not that uncommon. Bikes are great at getting people around cities, but the default mode just makes you think that you have to get around with a car. Every house comes with a garage, every apartment lists whether it has a parking spot. Google Maps and Apple Maps default to driving directions. And even if you switch it over to bike, it's pretty bad biking directions. There's a whole video on that. It takes a lot of intention to shift the momentum because the default choice is already made for you. But on the other side of these 5 stages is car independence. I just ticked over 1,000 miles on the e-cargo bike and life is good. It's awesome. I'll do a whole video on the economic factors of going car free, but even with renting a car when I need a car, it still comes out cheaper in the end. Twice now I've rented a truck from Home Depot to pick up landscaping things or some furniture. Once I rented a car to drive to Yosemite for the weekend. Actually, recently I was going to a concert in San Diego and all the Amtrak trains between LA and San Diego were canceled. And so I borrowed a friend's car to go to that concert. Thanks, Corey, you're a lifesaver. The quick math is that just what we're saving in car insurance alone, you can rent the car for a weekend every single month of the year. The whole point of this channel is not like a down with cars thing. The point here is just that it's not the only option. We can make conscious choices about how we're gonna get around, how we're gonna move. Going completely car-free does not have to be the goal for everyone. As cool as I think that would be, I just realize it's just not realistic. It doesn't make sense for everybody's lifestyle. But just cracking open the door and once or twice a month, taking a trip by bike or walking when you normally would have taken a car, I think it's headed the right direction. And not really for any save the world virtue purposes, I just think it's made my life better. Life is so busy and fast-paced that getting around by bike feels like a little act of rebellion that I can do just to slow things down a little bit. And that's felt really nice. Maybe it would feel good for you too. As always, thank you for being here. Thanks for watching. Happy New Year, and thanks for joining along on this little experiment of mine. I hope it inspires some experiments of your own. 1 less car on the road means less traffic for everybody. Pro cyclists are all big about, like, your sunglasses is not supposed to do this. What a weird thing to have an opinion about.